That's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. You know, probably the biggest change from the good old days is the cell phone, because now like everybody has a phone on them 24/7, 365. And like when I was growing up, we had one phone, our entire family. It was in the kitchen, on the wall, avocado green. What was the other one? Oh, Harvest Gold was the other one. And my parents had actually sprung for the extra long cord, and when they said extra long, yeah, those people had that. It was like a quarter of a mile long. My mom could go down the driveway and get the mail and never quit talking to her sister. But remember the problem with the extra long cord? It was always tangled up. It was just a wad. Yeah, if you could actually untangle the phone cord, the local Boy Scouts would give you a merit badge. That's what a mess our phone was. And I remember when my mom would be on it, but she'd walk all over the house. I remember one night she was cooking. She had that thing just stretched taut. She's cooking, talking on the phone. And I was chasing my brother through the house, and when we rounded the corner, he hit that phone cord right across the neck. The back of his head hit the floor like wedding night panties. It was like... He's laying there making noises like a cat trying to give up a hairball. And my mom never hung up. She was like... And remember back in the good old days when the phone rang, you were always surprised when you answered it. You had no idea who it was going to be. Might be your grandmother, might be the president. You had to pick it up to find out. But now with caller ID, every one of us is like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And some of the things we do with our phones now, you know, like people take pictures, not only of other people in places, their food. My daughter always goes, the camera eats first. They bring her food. She takes a picture of it. I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, when I was growing up, first, nobody had a camera with them. So if you ate a delicious waffle, people just had to take your word for it. And here's the other thing people take pictures of their junk, their private, and then they send them to other people. This is the worst idea in the world. See, when I was growing up, if I had wanted to send a picture to my girlfriend of my private parts, I would have had to gone through the house and found a piece of paper, put it on the table, walked up to the edge of the table, dropped my pants, laid Junior on the paper, take a pencil and trace him out. Then I would have had to go find a box of crayons, and it would have had to been the 64 count box, because that's the only one that had flesh tone in it. I would have colored it in, folded the paper up, put it in an envelope, mailed it to my girlfriend, so 3 days later she could call me and go, why did you send me a drawing of your thumb? Are you turned on? So I'm talking to my mom. Well, during the conversation, my mom mentioned that there had been a couple of break-ins in her neighborhood. And I said, well, Mom, I said, that's a little concerning. She said, I know. She said, that's why I am thinking about getting my carry permit. My mother is 83 years old. Her eyesight is bad. Her eyesight is bad, her hearing is worse, and she has the balance of Ron White after midnight. And now she is thinking about getting a pistol. I didn't know what to say. I said, Mom, I said, I'm a big supporter of the Second Amendment. I said, and call me overly cautious, but maybe you shouldn't be packing heat if you're wearing a life alert. Though she could use her pillboxes to sort her bullets. I said, Mom, I said, you need need to think about this. I said, I hope loading the thing is not going to be more difficult than opening a jar of pickles, or you're going to be in trouble. Because she's got arthritis in her hands. And then I thought, hell, I bet I could get her a commercial out of it. My arthritis had gotten so bad that I could barely jack around into the chamber. But thanks to new improved buffering, I can make it rain, dog. You feel me? It doesn't matter if you're a comedian or a musician, you get used to playing outside. You do a lot of fairs, a lot of festivals, a lot of amphitheaters. And you get used to being hot. So last summer, Larry and I were out together. One day we took the stage in Phoenix. It was like 4:30 in the afternoon. It was 112 degrees. And the promoter's trying to make us feel better. He goes, come on, fellas, it's a dry heat. I'm like, so is the electric chair. It's 112 degrees. But we were doing a show one night down in the South, so you had not only the heat, you had the humidity, and I'm not even going to tell you which city it was in case somebody tries to find the videotape of this. But, so, I go on stage, and, I mean, you can see, I don't sweat very much. This night, I am on stage for 10 minutes, and it's rolling down my nose. My shirt, you can see through it. By the end of the hour, it looks like I've been sprayed with a fire hose. I mean, I'm just so... And so usually we never eat before a show because you kind of feel sluggish. So when the show's over, we're always hungry. Well, as soon as the show's over, I'm back in my dressing room and I'm guzzling water and Gatorade and all this stuff, you know, because I sweated so much. And so Larry, I can hear Larry come down the hall and he comes in my dressing room. He goes, hey, come on, let's go eat. And well, Larry says that a lot, but, and I usually go because it's impressive to watch Larry eat, it really is. But you know how you get when you get too hot. And I said to him, I said, dude, I said, I'm not hungry. I said, I'm just going back to the hotel. I got too hot. I'm going to go to bed. And he's like, come on. And I said, no, I'm not hungry. Please, you know. And he goes, okay, fine. He goes, I cannot wait till you ask me to do something for you. I'm like, how old are you? 8 years old? Like, this isn't personal. I got too hot. I'm not hungry. So I went back to the hotel. And anybody that's on the road for a living, you kind of have your, you know, the way you do things. And I always like a hotel room dark when I sleep. And I like it really cool, so I'll turn the thermostat down. But every night you're in a different city and every hotel room's different. So I always turn on the light in the bathroom and then I'll shut the door. But that way, if I have to get up, I can see that light and I know where to go. Well, I usually sleep in my underwear, but this night they're wet. I mean, my socks are wet. I've sweated that much. And I told you I only packed 3 pairs, so I just peel my underwear off and I flop in the bed naked and I'm out. So I wake up about 1:30 in the morning and I really, really, really have to pee. And any guy over 40 knows what I'm talking about. You have to pee so much you know you can't go back to sleep. But you don't really want to wake up. You want to go do it and then be right back in the bed and be back out. So I get up, and I got my eyes about half open, and I see the light, and I walk in there. Well, as soon as the door closes, I realize I'm in the hall. Of a really nice hotel, completely naked. You want to wake up in a hurry, that's the way to do it, by the way. And so I'm like Matt Damon in The Martian. I'm like, solve the problem, solve the problem. So I knew Larry's room was right across the hall, so I run over to Larry's room and I'm knocking on the door and he's not answering, and all I can picture is him peeking through the keyhole and just laughing. Well, as I'm knocking on his door, I hear the elevator ding. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I know I got a 50-50 chance. They're either going the other way or they're coming towards me. And of course, they come towards me. And it's like these 2 Korean guys and they're talking to each other. So I'm like, oh crap, what did you do? I'm like, act like nothing's up. So I start walking towards them. I went past them. I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know? And one of them said something, which I really hope meant, wow, that was impressive. But when I looked it up on Translator, I found out it meant, did you see her mustache? So I know I can't get on the elevator. I know elevators have security cameras in them, and I'm like, what the hell do you do? So I saw like the exit sign, and I'm thinking, all right, get in the stairwell, get out of this lighted hallway. So I go jogging down the hall, and I get in there, and I'm hoping there's going to be a trash can in the stairwell with a garbage bag in it that I can wear like a sundress or something, you know. So I get into the stairwell, and there's no trash can. The only thing there's like 2 empty beer cans. And I'm trying to think what I should do, but the reason that I got up in the first place was I had to pee. And I'm like, I have no idea how long I'm going to be in the staircase. So I pick up the beer cans and I pee in them and I put them back. And I felt terrible about it. Because I know down the road somebody's going to have to clean them up. But it was Old Milwaukee, and I figured they're just going to pick them up and go, yeah, that's Old Milwaukee, all right. So since it was a nice hotel, they had room service. So my plan was I was going to keep going down different levels and check and see if I could see a room service tray in the hall. And then I would run down and get like the napkin on it and wear it like a diaper, you know, a loincloth. So I go down 2 or 3 floors and I don't find anything. But about the 4th floor down, I look out and there's 2 pizza boxes outside of the room. Well, to me, at this point, they look like a tuxedo. So I run down there and I grab those pizza boxes and I get back and I go down the last floor or 2 and I can't find anything better than that. But now it's really late. It's like 2 in the morning and I got to lobby level and I can crack the door open and I can see the lobby. There's nobody out there. I can't hear anybody talking. And I'm thinking, all right, just be brave for 20 seconds. So 1 pizza box in the front, 1 in the back. Go up to the desk, there's a woman working. She's looking at working. She looked up, she goes, can I help you? Yes, you can. I said, yes. I said, I accidentally locked myself out of my room. Can I just get another key so I can get back in? She said, do you have any identification? I said, I do, but it's in my other pizza box. I'm like, no, I locked myself out of my room. So she said, oh, well, I'm going to need to talk to a manager. And she goes behind the wall, and I'm thinking, she's not calling the manager, she's calling the cops. But at this point, it's 2 in the morning, I'm naked with a pizza box. What the hell am I going to do? I need to get back in my room. So they had a bellhop stand that I got behind. It's like a podium, and I'm standing there with my pizza box. And while I'm waiting on her, the front door of the hotel opens, and in walks Larry the cable guy and our road manager. And I'm like, thank you, God, here's answered prayer. Now they come walking over to me. Again, I'm naked, holding a pizza box in front of my groceries there. Larry walks up. He doesn't say, oh my God, dude, what happened? He looked at me, and he looked at the pizza box. He goes, I thought you said you wasn't hungry. Yeah, I've been sitting here naked in the lobby eating pepperoni. I said, dude, I locked myself out of my room. I'm trying to get another key. Well, about that time, the front desk lady comes back, and now she's got a security guard with her. So I look at Larry, and I said, Larry, I said, will you please tell her who I am so I can get a key and get back in my room? He looked at me, he looked at her, and he goes, I have never seen him before in my entire life. Well, the security guard burst out laughing. And thankfully, he recognized both of us. He got the emergency key. He rode up the elevator with me in my pizza boxes. He let me back in my room. I said, wait right here. I went in, I got my wallet. I gave him $50. I'm like, never tell anybody about this thing. And hell, now I'm telling y'all for free. So when I got back in my room, I got my sweatpants on and made sure I had my room key, put a t-shirt on. I waited about 10 minutes and I walked back across the hall and I knocked on Larry's door. He opens it up, he's still laughing. He's like, he goes, I told you I couldn't wait until you asked me to do something for you. I said, all right, you got me. I said, are we even? He's like, yeah, we're even. I said, well, just to prove I don't have hard feelings, I went and got you a beer. You guys have been so awesome. God bless you. Good luck. We'll see you guys. So, COVID started in 20, right? 2020. So the summer of 2019, Larry, the cable guy, and I were doing a bunch of dates together that summer. And when you do summer dates, they're almost all outside. You're either doing amphitheaters or country music festivals or, fairs. You're always outside, and you get used to being hot. We did a music festival in Phoenix. It was 112 when we went on stage. And the promoter was trying to make us feel better. He goes, "Come on, fellas, it's a dry heat." I said, "So is the electric chair. It's 112 degrees, So, but I don't sweat very much. I mean, you can see I don't sweat when I'm up here. And so we do this show one night in the South. I'm not even going to say the name of the city because there may be a computer genius here that can get the footage of this. But we did a show one night, and it was not only hot, it was humid as rip. So 10 minutes in the show, I got sweat dripping off my nose onto the stage. 20 minutes in, looks like a wet t-shirt contest. By the end of it, I look like I've been sprayed with a fire hose. I've never sweated this much in my life. And we usually don't eat before a show because it makes you feel kind of sluggish, so we're always hungry, when we get off stage. So I get off stage that night, and I'm in the dressing room, and I'm just pounding Gatorade and water trying to rehydrate. And I hear Larry, the cable guy, coming down the hall, and he slides into my dressing room. He's like, "Hey, let's go eat." And Larry says this a lot. And I usually go because it's fun to watch Larry eat. It's impressive. But I said, "Dude," I said, "not tonight." I said, "I got too hot. I'm not hungry." I said, "I'm just going back to the hotel and going to bed." He's like, "Yeah, right. Come on, let's go eat." I said, "No, I'm not hungry. I got too hot. I'm not kidding with you." He goes, "Are you serious?" He goes, "I cannot wait till you ask me to do something for you." What are you, 9 years old? It's not personal. I got too hot. I'm not hungry. So I got in the van. I got him to take me back to the hotel and got in my room. And probably a lot of y'all make your living on the road. You have your little routine. When I'm on the road, I like it really dark when I sleep. I like it really cold, so I'll turn the thermostat down. But when you're doing stand-up, you're in a different city every night. Every hotel room is different than the day before. So one of my tricks is I always turn the light on in the bathroom, and I'll shut the door. But that way, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to go, I can see that light. I know that kind of orients me, and I know where I am. And I usually sleep in my underwear, but this night they're wet. My socks are wet. I've sweated that much, and I'm like, I'm not sleeping in wet underwear, and I told you I only packed 3 pairs, So I just peel them off, and I flop in the bed naked, and I'm out. Well, I wake up about 1:30 in the morning, and I really, really have to pee, probably from all the Gatorade and the water. And any guy over 40 knows what I'm talking about. You have to pee too much to go back to sleep. You can't go back to sleep, but you don't really want to wake up. You just want to get it done and get back in the bed. So I get up and got my eyes half open. I see the light, and I walk in there. Well, as soon as the door closes, I realize I'm in the hall of a really nice hotel without a stitch of clothes on. And you want to wake up in a hurry, forget coffee. This is the way to do it right here. So I'm trying to think through it. Well, Larry's room was right across the hall from mine. And I'm thinking, thank God. I run over there and I'm knocking on the door, and he's not answering. And all I can picture him peeking through the keyhole and laughing. But as I'm knocking on the door, I hear the elevator ding. And I'm like, okay, well, I got a 50-50 shot. They're either going to get off and go the other way, or they're going to get off and come towards me. And sure enough, these 2 Korean guys, they're talking with each other. They get off and they start walking right towards me. And I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? And I'm like, you act like nothing's up. That's what you do. So I start walking towards them. Literally past them in the hall. Hey, how you doing? And one of them said something, which I really hoped meant, wow, that was impressive. But when I looked it up on Translator, I found out it meant, did you see her mustache? So I know I can't get on the elevator. I know elevators have security cameras, and I'm thinking, where do I go? Well, at the end of the hall, they had that exit, you know, for the stairwell, and I'm like, at least get out of the lighted hallway. So I jog down the rest of the hall, and I get in the stairwell, hoping there'll be like a trash can in there where I can take the trash bag out and wear it like over all of it. Get in the stairwell, no trash can, but at least I'm not in the lighted hallway. And as I'm trying to think through it, I noticed there's a couple of empty beer cans down in the corner. Well, the reason I got up in the first place was I had to pee. I have no idea how long I'm going to be locked out of my room, and I'm not proud of it, but I picked those cans up and I peed in them and I put them back. I felt horrible about it, but it was old Milwaukee, and I figure whoever cleans them up will go, yeah, that's old Milwaukee, all right. But it was a really nice hotel, and they had 24-hour room service. So my thought was, well, maybe somebody's left their room service tray outside their room, and I can get that big cloth napkin and wear it like a diaper, you know. So I'm going down the stairwell, and every floor I'm opening the door and looking down the hall for a tray. And I get about 3 or 4 floors down. I hadn't found a tray yet, but somebody's left a couple of pizza boxes outside their room. Well, to me, it looks like a folded tuxedo sitting there. So I run down there, I get the pizza boxes, and I bring them back, and I go down the last 3 or 4 floors and never do find a room service tray. But by now, it's really late. It's like 2 in the morning, and I get to lobby level. Well, I can crack the door, and I can see almost the entire lobby. I don't see a soul. I don't hear anybody talking. I'm thinking, all you got to do is be brave for 20 seconds. I put 1 pizza box in the front, 1 in the back. Walk up to the desk, the lady's working there. As I go up, she looks up and she goes, "Can I help you?" "Yes, you can." I said, "I have accidentally locked myself out of my room. Can I just get another key so I can get back in?" She goes, do you have any identification?" I said, "I do, but it's in my other pizza box." I'm like, "No, I locked myself out of my room. I got nothing." And she says, "I need to talk to a manager." And she goes behind the wall, and I'm thinking, she's not calling a manager, she's calling the cops. But it's 2 in the morning, I'm naked with a pizza box in front of my junk. Where am I going to go? Yeah, so they had a bellhop stand, like a podium, and I got behind that, and I'm just waiting on her. Well, as I'm waiting, all of a sudden the front doors to the hotel open up, and in walks Larry the Cable Guy and our tour manager. And I'm like, "Thank you, God, here's answered prayer." So they walk across the lobby. Again, I'm naked holding a pizza box. Larry does not say, "Oh my gosh, buddy, what happened to you?" He looked at me, he looked at the pizza box, he goes, "I thought you said you wasn't hungry." Just been sitting down here naked eating pepperoni in the lobby, you know. I said, "I locked myself out of my room." Well, about that time, here comes the front desk lady back, and now she's got a security guard with her. I said, "Larry, I need you to do me a giant favor." I said, "Tell her who I am so I can get a key and get back in my room." And he looked at me. He looked at her. He goes, "I have never seen him before in my entire life." And he got on the elevator and rode up. Thankfully, the security guard started laughing. He recognized both of us. He was one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. He got the magic key. He rode up the elevator with me and the pizza boxes, and we went down the hall. He let me in my room. I said, "Wait here." I went in and got my wallet. I gave him a $100 bill. I said, "Thank you so much. Please never tell anybody about this." And now I'm telling y'all for free. But I got back in my room, I put my sweatpants on, put a t-shirt on, made sure I had that room key in my pocket, and I waited about 10 minutes, and I walked back across the hall and knock on Larry's door. He opens the door, he's still laughing. He's like, he goes, "I told you I couldn't wait until you asked me to do something for you." I said, "All right, you got me." I said, "Are we even?" He's like, "Yeah, we're even." I said, "Well, just to prove I don't have any hard feelings, I went and got you a beer." Thanks, y'all. God bless you. Thank you for being here. am I a redneck? I'm married into rednecks. I'm married into world-class rednecks. My wife and her entire family are from the great state of Louisiana. So don't guess we have anybody from Louisiana here, right? Really? Seriously? Are you kidding? What do you think about this electricity? This is not me. Different colors and everything. I really didn't expect somebody from Louisiana. What part of Louisiana? Alexandria. Yeah, my wife is from New Orleans, and I kid Louisiana, but you'll back me up. Greatest food on the planet Earth, as long as you don't ask too many questions. Because as long as there's a ditch on the side of the road, nobody is going hungry in Louisiana. And you'll back me up on this, because my wife's from New Orleans, as I said, but she's got all these cousins from Thibodeau and Bunkie, all those Cajun places. You've seen swamp people? That's my wife's relatives. 27 of them came to our house last Thanksgiving. I didn't understand a word they said all weekend. The kids were like, hey, Mr. Jim, you think it'd be all right to go out there outside the house, this here, go in the back drawer, get a robe? You think I'd be all right with do that, huh? Okay. An hour later, my wife's like, did you tell them they could jump off the garage roof? I might have. I have no idea what they're saying. But boy, they brought some great food with you. I'd be sitting there at the table going, man, this is delicious. What is it? They were like, you don't want to know. You put your little more hot sauce on and keep chewing there, city boy. Like, come on, give me a clue. Does it swim? Does it fly? Maybe it do and maybe it don't. You just keep eating. I saw him hit boiling pots with a wooden spoon going, get back in there right now. And my wife has all these cousins up in the northern part of the state, up around Shreveport. Several years ago, they had this pretty bad flooding there, and so we were watching it on the news. You know, we were concerned, and I said to my wife, I said, you wait, before the story's over, CNN will go find the biggest idiot they can locate. I said, they're going to show somebody walking chest deep in water right through the middle of town. And they did. And it was my wife's cousin, Danny. But not only was Danny walking chest deep in water, he was holding an umbrella. I'm looking at my wife going, that has got to make you proud right there. That's your bloodline on national television. I gave her so much grief about that. Until it occurred to me, this woman and I had children together. And Lord, knowing what I know about my family and knowing what I know about hers, it made me worry about our offspring. Because you mix stagnant pond water with raw sewage, you ain't getting Evian. Speaking of kids, fact of life, the more kids you have, the worse your parenting becomes. People that only have one child are making homemade baby food out of organic vegetables they're growing in their own backyard. Yeah, by the time that fourth kid rolls around, you're smoking a cigarette while you watch your toddler pull a year-old milk dud out from under the stove and eat it. Pick the cat hair off of it before you put it in your mouth, dummy. Speaking of wives, fact of life, if your wife hints that she might be in the mood, your kids will sense it and won't go to bed for 3 years. And lick his rear end for hours and be totally fine. But if he eats half a candy bar, he dies. I don't know why every time I get great tickets to a concert, I always end up being seated next to somebody that has to sing every song at the top of their lungs. So several years ago, Simon and Garfunkel came to Atlanta. My wife wanted to go. She had a couple of friends that wanted to go. Well, my mother-in-law wanted to go. Quick backstory on my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has hearing aids that she refuses to wear because she thinks they don't look good. But because she doesn't wear them, she can't hear licks. She talks louder than anybody on the planet. Around Christmas time, we go to the movies. We're standing in the long line at the concession stand. My mother-in-law walks over to me and goes, "Don't look now, but the man behind us is cross-eyed as a bat." Which is bad for two reasons. One, you're embarrassed to death. And two, when somebody says something like that, yes, you've got to look, you know. Then I'm like, turn around, the guy's glaring at me. Well, he may not have been glaring at me, but he was glaring at somebody. So we go to Simon and Garfunkel. Somehow I end up being seated next to my mother-in-law. She doesn't have the hearing aids in. She sang every Simon and Garfunkel song, and she knew the words to none of them. Like a witch over Bubble's daughter. Are you kidding? I will grease your pine. Grease your pine? That's what you got out of that? And my kids make fun of me. They're like, "Dad, don't ever stand up there and tell people things." I don't know why in 2023 we still have jobs that we will call men's jobs or women's jobs. Like if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, whose job is it to go check out the noise? It's the man. Let's be, yeah, you never see this. Phyllis. Phyllis. Run downstairs, see what that noise was. Hey, bring me back a piece of chicken, okay? Now, if there's a noise in the house in the middle of the night, it is the man checking it out. In his underwear, carrying a baseball bat. Because that is the official uniform of suspicious noises, underpants and a baseball bat. I don't know what we're hoping to find, some guy in the living room in his underwear with a ball. And my dad didn't even need the baseball bat, because my dad wore those gigantic boxer shorts that were always gapped open in the front. That gap was like a taser to a thief. Shut the gap, shut the gap. Here, take my wallet, just shut that gap. I don't know why you can't ride a bicycle anymore without dressing like Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France. Anybody remember when you could ride a bike wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt? Not anymore, got to have the uni. And it's not just young athletic people. You got these fat middle-aged guys. They look like the Michelin Man in a wetsuit, and they've got sponsor logos. Who's sponsoring you, Pop? Dunkin' Donuts, all right. Pedal on, doughboy, pedal on. And actually, she packs light for airline travel as opposed to if we go on vacation in the car. If we go on vacation in the car, there's a fine line between packing and moving. But my wife and daughters, they think it is their job to fill that SUV to the top. And the way they pack would make a man lay on the floor and wet himself. They will bring out a bag with bread and potato chips, put it on the bottom, then put 3 suitcases on top of it. I'm like, let me do this, please. Because men care about, there's an art to packing a car, isn't there? Total art. My daddy could get a house full of furniture into the trunk of a Buick. Hold the jack, hand me the piano. I got this son of a gun, you know. And I'm like my daddy too. Once I get that car packed the way I like it, I'm ready to go. Not my wife. I walk in the house like, all right, car's packed, let's do it. Oh, we can't go yet. What do you mean we can't go? Car's packed, let's go. No, I got to straighten up the house.
Do what? Well, I'm not going to be able to have a good time if I know I'm going to be coming back to a messy house. Why didn't you straighten it up the last couple of days? Because I had to pack. Which in a nutshell is why men die before women. Because we want to. Things you don't know. If you don't know something, Google it. And to a point, they're right. I mean, when I was growing up, if you were watching TV and somebody goes, "What was that guy in?" You go, "Man, he looks familiar." That was it. Now you watch TV, somebody goes, "What was that guy in?" Somebody takes their phone and goes, "He was the janitor on Joey." And there are a ton of things you can Google. But I try to teach my daughters, I said, what you don't understand is there's a lot of things you can't Google. There's things you only learn through life experience. I call them the facts of life, things you can't Google. Like this, fact of life. If you are trying to get to the bathroom in an emergency situation, it is not a wise idea to unbutton your pants in transit in the effort to save a couple of seconds. Because the muscles that guard the floodgates will interpret the unbuttoning as the signal to abandon their post. And the 2 seconds you saved on the button are nullified by the hour and a half you spend mopping and doing laundry. Google won't tell you that. You learn that the hard way. Fact of life. Out of all of the cereals, Captain Crunch is the most time intensive. Here's what I'm talking about. You eat it too soon after you poured the milk on and you will rip the roof of your mouth to shreds. You wait too long after you pour the milk on and the captain will put a film on your teeth a wire brush can't get rid of. Fact of life. You can have a wife with long, beautiful hair, or you can be on time. I don't know why the bank leaves the vault door wide open, but chains the 25-cent ink pen to the counter. And why does the drive-up banking window have directions written in Braille? They do. Look at it next time you go to the bank. I don't know why the people with the worst breath always stand the closest to you when they talk. They're like, guess what? I don't know. You have a dirty diaper in your mouth? Can I tell you something? All right, but do it quick. I can only hold my breath for 30 seconds. And you always try to offer them a mint or a piece of gum. They never take it. They're like, oh, no thanks. Ooh, I don't like the way those taste. Yeah, I can see where you wouldn't prefer peppermint to that cat turd you're gnawing on right now.